In this video, we're going to discuss whether or not you should spare Teyrn Loghain in Dragon Age Origins. We'll explore this question from the perspective of what is best for Ferelden, and we'll also discover what happens during the Awakening expansion and Dragon Age Inquisition if Loghain was spared, assuming he survives the final battle. Keep watching to see it all. What's up, everyone? Big Dan here. I make videos about RPGs like Mass Effect and Dragon Age. I explore hidden dialogue, rare choices, as well as lore and guides. So if you like old school BioWare games, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Aside from the Archdemon, Teyrn Loghain is the big bad for the majority of the main story in Dragon Age Origins. He abandoned Cailin's army at Ostagar and declared the Grey Wardens enemies of the state. During the Landsmeet, you have the opportunity to confront Loghain and expose him for his crimes. You also have a chance to execute him, getting revenge and a perceived sense of justice simultaneously. But is this the best outcome, or should you consider sparing Loghain instead? Now I know what many of you are probably thinking right now, but if I spare Loghain, then Alistair will leave my party, and I don't want that to happen because I like Alistair, so I'm not going to spare Loghain. Fair enough, but let's entertain a thought experiment, shall we? Let's assume for the moment that this is our first playthrough of Dragon Age Origins, and we don't yet know how Alistair will react. And let's try to think about this from the perspective of what is best for Ferelden, rather than a personal sense of vengeance or justice that Alistair and maybe even the player feel towards Loghain. Instead, let's take a more objective approach to the question, should you spare Loghain, or should he die for his crimes? For starters, let's recap what Loghain's crimes actually are, to provide some more context for this discussion. During the Battle of Ostagar, Loghain abandoned Cailin's army and retreated, allowing Cailin and Duncan to die on the battlefield. This act is essentially treasonous. Afterwards, Loghain seized power by declaring himself regent to his daughter, Queen Honora, while blaming the Wardens for Cailin's death and declaring them enemies of the state. He also vowed to crush all who opposed him. Additionally, he allied himself with Rendon Howe, a ruthless opportunist who murdered the Cousland family and stole the title Arl of Denerim, as well as a bunch of land. Howe became a key advisor in Loghain's political establishment. Finally, Loghain made a deal with Tevinter slavers, turning over poor elves from the alienage in exchange for financial support, which he sought to use to defeat the Darkspawn. There may be other minor infractions that I'm missing, but those are the big ones. On the face of it, these crimes would certainly warrant a swift death, and you certainly may feel justified in killing Loghain during the Landsmeet. But is that the best outcome for Ferelden? Yes, Loghain committed crimes, but what is the best way for him to atone for these crimes? By paying with his life, right here at the Landsmeet, or by helping the Wardens slay the Archdemon? At the end of the Landsmeet, assuming Alistair was not selected to duel Loghain, Riordan makes a proposition to the Warden. Instead of executing Loghain, he asks us to conscript him as a Grey Warden and enlist his help to slay the Archdemon. Alistair is absolutely furious at the suggestion and insists that Loghain must die for his crimes. You may feel compelled to agree with our regal friend, but Loghain's death during the Landsmeet benefits no one except for Alistair's ego, and perhaps the players as well. Think about it for a minute. Alistair blames Loghain for Duncan's death. It is the number one reason he wants to see Loghain die. This is incredibly personal for him. But it's entirely possible that Duncan would have died at Ostagar anyway, even if Loghain hadn't retreated. It was Cailin's childish obsession with glory and an unserious approach to the Darkspawn which doomed them to begin with. Now, Loghain did use the opportunity to seize power for himself. I'm not defending or discounting those actions. But again, I'll ask, what is the best way for Loghain to atone for his crimes? Loghain can still be incredibly useful as a military leader in the Wardens. His help could be vital to slaying the Archdemon. When you're making this decision during the Landsmeet, victory against the Darkspawn is not yet assured. Killing Loghain robs Ferelden of any present or future contributions that he could make to society. Also, when you zoom out to a bird's eye view, Loghain wants the same thing as the Wardens, to end the Blight. He simply thought he was the best man for the job and sought to take power himself to get the job done. The problem is, he's short-sighted and can only see things like a military leader. When he experiences political opposition, he seeks to crush it, much like a general would to an opposing army. He also has a major blind spot for the Orlesians, refusing any support from them because of his experiences with Merrick during the war with Orlais. So let's see what happens if we do spare Loghain. Things can play out several different ways depending on your other choices. Alistair is unable to accept that Loghain will survive and threatens to leave the Grey Wardens. He will leave your party and either become a wandering drunk or get executed by Honora if you allow it. He could also become king jointly with Honora if you set things up properly beforehand. In any case, Loghain replaces Alistair as a companion and joins your crew as another warrior. After Loghain's joining is complete, you can speak to him, learn about his motivations and why he took the actions he did. His most common answer is, it seemed like the best course of action at the time. You can see that he wasn't able to view the longer-term ramifications of his actions.
My execution was all but arranged. If you'd wanted me dead, you could have had your wish at the lands meet. I assume, then, that you have something else in mind. What I want? What an odd question. I want to ride back to Denerim and sit in the war room and find no empty chairs at the table. I want to lose, nothing else. I want a line clearly drawn that I can defend. I want an end to this war. All of this can rightly be called my fault. Whether or not you can do better remains to be seen. But if you can make this the end, Warden, I will follow you, I swear it.
What separates Loghain from your cookie-cutter villain is his motivations. He didn't take the actions he did because he's evil, he did it because he thought it would give Ferelden the best chance in defeating the Blight. But ultimately it didn't. Loghain is not suited for political leadership. His talents are best used leading soldiers, not entire nations. You'll have several more choices regarding Loghain before the end of the game. First, do you or Loghain go through the Dark Ritual with Morrigan? And if not, do you or Loghain take the final blow against the Archdemon? If Loghain takes the final blow, he is remembered as a hero, which is detailed in the end slides after the coronation ceremony. However, if the Grey Warden takes the final blow, or if Morrigan's Dark Ritual is completed, then Loghain will survive the final battle. Assuming the Warden is alive as well, you can speak to him again during the Awakening DLC, where he greets you in Vigil's Keep as a friend.
I see you are back amongst the Grey Wardens. Leadership looks good on you, I think. Then you are lucky. I came to pay my respects to the new commander of the Grey before I leave Ferelden. Trust everything is going well. My other reason for coming here was to bring equipment that remained in the cache at Denerim. There's also this. It belonged to Ferelden's commander of the Grey before Duncan, and now it's yours. Use it well. Now it is time for me to go. The Orlesian Wardens await my presence. Daggers and all. It was good to see you again. With you here, I know the Wardens will have matters well in hand.
One of the more interesting aspects of this game is the potential friendship with Loghain. I mean, how many games can end with you becoming besties with the main antagonist in the plot? Loghain joins your party very late in the game, so there isn't much time to raise his disposition. But you can do so with gifts, such as rare maps, or generic presents from the Feast Day Gifts and Pranks DLC pack, which is included in DAO Ultimate Edition. Loghain will also return in Dragon Age Inquisition if he survived the events of the Fifth Blight. In the meantime, he has become a respected leader amongst the Grey Wardens. He's also one of the few that doesn't fall prey to Corypheus's plans to corrupt the Wardens, becoming a staunch ally of the Inquisition in the process. He'll even offer to sacrifice himself to allow you to escape the Fade, which you can let him do in place of Hawk. But I chose to save Loghain a second time and watch him ride off into the sunset.
Right well, Inquisitor. And give my regards to the witch.
Side note, if you gave Loghain a map in Dragon Age Origins, he'll even mention it during Inquisition, which kinda blew my mind.
In the direction Eramon fled, the only structure of note is an abandoned Warden fortress, Adamant. I suspect we'll find the Wardens there. I suppose it's fortunate a friend once gave me some old maps.
Ultimately, I prefer to spare Loghain in Dragon Age Origins if given the chance. Who doesn't love a good redemption story, after all? I feel the best outcome to the Landsmeet is to have Alistair and Honora get married, while Loghain joins the Grey Wardens and helps you defeat the Archdemon. I prefer to see the man live on because he still has so much to contribute for Ferelden. Remember, until recently, he was a respected general and war hero. Perhaps one day he can be again. So there you have it, a big-brained discussion on whether you should spare Loghain in Dragon Age Origins. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more Dragon Age and Mass Effect videos. I'm also on Instagram, so go follow me at Big Dan Gaming. Until next time, this has been Big Dan, and remember, swooping is bad.